Everything feels like it's breaking, unraveling, slipping through your fingers, but what if that's not failure? What if that's the first sign God is shifting your life in a direction you didn't plan but desperately need? And the shaking you're experiencing isn't punishment, it's positioning, because God will often disrupt what is comfortable to deliver what is necessary. Everything feels like it's breaking, unraveling, slipping through your fingers, but what if that's not failure? What if that's the first sign God is shifting your life in a direction you didn't plan but desperately need? And the shaking you're experiencing isn't punishment, it's positioning, because God will often disrupt what is comfortable to deliver what is necessary. You can't, because your spirit is catching up to where your destiny is headed, and God won't let you feel peace in a place He's no longer present. Just like Jonah couldn't rest in the belly of a boat headed the wrong way. And this unease is sacred ets. Heaven's whisper that the current version of your life is too small for what God is about to release. And if you try to ignore it, it only grows louder. Because what you're feeling isn't burnout, it's divine misalignment. And the second sign is forced separation when God begins to subtract. You must pay attention, because the removal of people, jobs, habits, or even mindsets isn't random, it's surgical. And just like God told Abraham to leave everything familiar behind, He will also call you to walk away from what you thought you couldn't live without, so you can finally walk into what you were born for. And it will feel like abandonment at first, but it's actually alignment. Because some connections were only meant to carry you through a temporary season, and when the season ends, so do they. Not because they were bad, but because they can't breathe in the atmosphere of where God is taking you. And this is where most people resist the shift. They cling to expired things and wonder why they feel spiritually suffocated. But the truth is, God will dry up the brook, He will silence the familiar voice, and He will close the doors you won't, because His love won't let you settle where you no longer belong. The third sign is a disruption of rhythm when your daily life starts feeling unpredictable. Routines stop working, plans fall apart, and what used to flow now feels like a fight. That's not chaos, that's construction, because God is deconstructing your comfort zone brick by brick so He can build something stronger. And just like the Israelites had to walk through a wilderness with no map and no clarity, you may find yourself in a spiritual fog where nothing is certain except the presence of God. And this fog is the filter He's stripping away your reliance on patterns, so you'll learn to trust His presence, not just His plans. And in this space, you're being recalibrated, taught to move by faith and not by sight, 2 Corinthians 5:7. And though it feels disorienting, it's actually divine, because you're being broken out of the smallness of predictability and trained for the mystery of purpose. And the fourth sign is sudden sensitivity. Your spirit becomes hyper-aware, your discernment sharpens, and things that once entertained you now irritate you, because God is sanctifying your senses, preparing you to hear His instructions in a crowd of noise. And this spiritual awakening may feel like isolation, but it's actually incubation. The same way Jesus often withdrew to lonely places to pray, Luke 5:16. God is now teaching you to tune out the world so you can hear Him in whispers. And this quietness isn't punishment. It's preparation for your next assignment. Because clarity doesn't always come through confirmation. It often arrives through consecration. And finally, the most hidden sign of all is supernatural peace in unnatural places, when everything around you is crumbling, but somehow your soul is still. That's not denial, that's divine assurance. The peace that surpasses all understanding. And it's the holy indicator that even though your path doesn't make sense to others, it is perfectly aligned with heaven's design. And that stillness is the Spirit's signal that you're moving with God, not ahead of Him, not behind Him, but with Him. And this peace becomes your compass, because when your mind says panic, but your spirit says trust. That's how you know you're walking in purpose. And the warning is this: many people abort the shift because it feels like suffering. But the pain of transition is not a sign of failure, it's the proof that you're being delivered, not from something, but into something greater. So don't mislabel the shift as punishment when it's actually preparation. Don't fight what God is forcing. Don't cling to what's crumbling. And don't fear what feels unfamiliar, because Romans is not just a comfort verse, it's a battle cry that even in the chaos, all things are being woven together for your good. So if the ground under you is shaking, the walls around you are cracking, and the people beside you are fading, don't ask God to fix it. Task Him to show you where He's taking you, because when He's shifting your direction, He doesn't owe you clarity. He calls you to trust, and the challenge is simple but costly. Will you stay where it's safe and miss your destiny? Or will you step into the unknown and finally become who you were created to be?